To add up the values in one column for this dataset, we want to loop through the outer list, data from CSV, and then grab the third column in the inner list each time we loop through it. So let's create a function that would do this. We're going to import our functions from before. We're going to pass in an argument for the data sample. And then within this, we want to have a temporary total number. We want to return the total. Now let's loop through the outer list to get each row. And we're going to go ahead and say starting from the second row. That way we can skip the header. Now the price is going to be row 2, and then we're going to make it a float type just to make sure that we can work with it as a number. Each time we go through the list, we're just going to add that to the total. We have here that it says 0, which is not what we're expecting. So obviously we have an error. Let's actually make the total be the sum of price. There, that looks better. I'm going to comment out the lines from before that show the number of ties in our samples. And then now we're going to print out the sum, which was this number. I'm going to clear this. I'm going to quickly show you a couple of ways to write a more condensed form. We're going to use list comprehension, and so it'll be a more succinct version. We're going to copy that just to quickly type this up. And we're going to remove this line because we don't need the total. Instead of this loop, what we're going to write here is for x in data sample, and also we're going to use the third value of x, and we're going to turn that into a float. So what this really ends up being is, instead of the row here, that's where it is. And instead of using total equals price, what we can do instead is the price total is equal to that line. So it removes these 3 lines, and we return that. Actually, we want to sum up this list. So we return the sum of prices. And that's how we get a more concise version of code. So I'm actually going to comment this out very quickly so we can move on to the next example. So I'm going to show you another kind of list comprehension. And this time we're going to use a lambda function. So once again, prices equals a one-liner, which is a list. We're going to map over the data sample. what we want to do here is use lambda x, so the lambda function. And we're going to get the float type of the x2. So of each row, basically. And again, we're just going to return the sum. And that'll give us the exact same number. So we can print that out. There we go. So now I'm going to comment it out again. And now I can show you NumPy's sum function. With NumPy, you can use numpy.sum, and it's very similar to this Python's built-in sum. We're going to be super certain that our prices is float type. So we're going to convert the whole list of prices into float. We're going to use a list comprehension. We're going to say float each line for line and price. And the total will be equals to numpy.sum and prices and float. And what price is equal to here? Price is equal to my CSV and the column price label. We're going to print this out. We're going to print out the my sum, and we'll see that the value is the same, but they've truncated it for us.